Greetings, friends, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I am your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here. Every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 3 decades plus of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, acne, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing and regenerating system. It's designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while that may seem like a miracle to some folks, this renewing system is really nothing more than just the way the body works. And welcome back to The Bright Side, friends. Pharmacist Ben here. Thanks for joining us. We got lines open as we always do on The Bright Side, at least at the beginning of the program. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you have questions about longevity products, business, the longevity business, health challenges you or a loved one may be dealing with, our True Skin Health products, or if you just have a comment or a success story you'd like to share, we'd love hearing from you. 844-236-6010. If you want to purchase longevity products, go to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com, or call 866-735-2470. Ask about joining the Bright Side Ben team for a one-time $30 fee. You can be in business for yourself. Call 866-735-2470 or click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. We've got all kinds of health information, free health information on our websites, blog posts, news stories, and our videos. We got our Moments of Truth up at we have our Moments of Truth up on our Critical Health News page and also on our Facebook page. So follow us at The Bright Side with Pharmacist Ben. We post there as well. I did my Moment of Truth today on sensitive skin. I do a Moment of Truth every morning, 60 seconds or so, 60 to 90 seconds. I try to keep it as short as possible, but it's packed with information, as you know, if you've listened to them. Today we talked about sensitive skin, how the skin shouldn't be sensitive, what you can do if you have sensitive skin. That's just a really, really common complaint. 50 to 60% of American adults claim to have sensitive skin at one time or another in their lives, and it shouldn't happen. Sensitive skin is a sign that the body is breaking down or the body's not as healthy as it should be. The skin is a mechanical barrier. You should be able to put anything you want on the skin and not have to deal with a reaction. If you find that you're reacting to products, or you're reacting to certain products, you're reacting to all products. Some people say they can't put anything on their skin without breaking out. Guaranteed, 100%, you're dealing with some kind of health challenge. Usually digestion, but sometimes also nutritional deficiency. I talked about that on my Moment of Truth today. If you're interested in checking out our Moments of Truth, they're all up on our Facebook page. Thanks, Nasima, for setting that up. The Bright Side with Pharmacist Ben, and then also some of them are up at criticalhealthnews.com. If you want to purchase Truth Treatment products, go to truthtreatments.com. Never any preservatives, fragrances, fillers, waxes, emulsifiers, fragrances, oil, silicone, just active and functional ingredients. You shouldn't have to pay for things that don't work or aren't doing anything for your skin, or sometimes are harming you. Preservatives don't do your skin any good, and they don't do you any good. A couple of weeks ago, actually about a month ago, JAMA came out with an article that said one application of a sunscreen ends up in your blood. Well, it's very likely that applications, maybe not one, but multiple applications of preservatives will end up in your blood. We know that parabens show up in breast tumors. You shouldn't have to put stuff on your skin. Actually, not only you shouldn't have to put stuff on your skin that doesn't do anything for your skin, that you're paying for, but you shouldn't be putting stuff on your skin that is going to be toxic, that's going to tox you out. We're not ingredient deck readers. We're not ingredient readers in general. If I had to pick one, I did a video a couple days ago, or a video interview a couple days ago, and the gal asked me, what's the one thing you hate about the skincare, about how we deal with skincare in this country? And I told her, I said, it's that we don't read ingredients, that we don't understand ingredients. I'm not talking about just average people. I'm not doctors don't read ingredients. I'm talking about skin doctors, dermatologists don't read ingredients. I'm talking about plastic surgeons don't read ingredients. I'm talking about estheticians don't read ingredients. And of course, most average people don't read ingredients. And we don't read ingredients on our skin products. We don't read ingredients on our foods. We don't like chemistry. People think I'm smart because I'm a chemist. I'm not smart because being a chemist you don't need to be smart to be a chemist. All you got to do is understand how certain shapes get together, basically. It's all about shapes, as we've said many times. So don't be intimidated by chemistry. Be an ingredient deck reader, and when you're an ingredient deck reader, you're going to be shocked by what you find out. What you see is in your Kraft macaroni and cheese, or in your Power Bars, and what's in your skincare products. Some skincare products have over 100 different ingredients in them. La Mer by L'Oreal, $500 for a 4-ounce jar. $500 for a 4-ounce jar. 90% water, and then another over 100, maybe 120, 130 ingredients. It's ridiculous. The way we treat the skin and the way we mistreat the skin is so unfair to this organ that we all profess to love. So anyway, TrueTreatments.com, TrueTreatments.com. Check out our specials, and we have more specials coming up later in the month. TrueTreatments.com. All right, thanks for joining us on The Bright Side. We are talking about the electrical nature of the body. The body is fundamentally electrical, and electricity is fundamentally quantum. Now, I don't want to get all weird about quantum. I don't want to freak anybody out. Quantum is just little pieces. That's all it is, little pieces. Now, little is kind of putting it mildly. The pieces we're talking about are so small that you can't even imagine them, let alone see them. You can't even see them with a microscope. You can't see them you can't even see them with an electron microscope, although recently we've actually seen electrons. I actually saw a picture of an electron. They used to say for a long time that electrons were just theoretical, but now I believe they've actually shown pictures of electrons. Electrons, little pieces of energy, are carried by what we call micronutrients, and they are sourced from what we call macronutrients. Nutrition is about electrons. It's actually about what's called electron transfer, the movement of electrons. If you want to read a really cool book about this idea, there's a physicist, I guess he's a physicist, biochemist, physicist, philosopher named Albert Szent-Györgyi, Szent-Gyorgyi. I think he was Hungarian, and he's considered to be one of the greatest biochemists of all time. I've talked about him before. And he wrote a little book called Cancer in the Living State, where he talks about the living state as an electrical phenomena and cancer as an electrical phenomena. And the fact that cancer is an electrical phenomena, it's the end result of disturbed electronics, is why you're never, ever going to get a vaccine for cancer. It's why you're never, ever going to get a cure for cancer. You can't cure an electrical disturbance in a cell. That's not how cure works. And when you hear politicians talking about curing cancer, you're listening to pure ignorance. Just like when you hear them talking about the coronavirus, you're listening to pure ignorance. And I'm actually even not just talking about the politicians, many of whom are ignorant anyway, but I'm talking about even medical authorities who are political, who get appointed to political offices. The coronavirus is a case in point. Did you see that guy, that Florida representative wearing the gas mask, by the way? He was signing the coronavirus bill. I don't know what he was trying to show, what he was trying to prove, wearing a huge gas mask. In any case, this is just an example of how silly we are as a culture, how silly we are as a society. This whole idea of the coronavirus exemplifies our medical ignorance and our biological and our biochemical ignorance. If you're out there wearing a mask, it ain't going to help you. Coronavirus isn't spread by a mask. Now I'm hearing that people are worried about planes because it could sit on your tray, the coronavirus, for 24 hours. Nobody gets the coronavirus that's not weakened, or nobody suffers from the symptoms, I should say. You may catch the coronavirus, you may get a cold, but if you start to deteriorate, or if your body condition starts to degenerate after you catch a virus or a cold, that means there's something wrong. Not the virus. Don't blame the virus. Build the immune system. Help the body channel electricity more effectively. Use nutrients that help the body channel electricity more effectively and that deliver electricity. Proteins, fats, carbs, and micronutrients. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. Got lines open, 844-236-6010. We'll return right after this on The Bright Side. Okie doke, we're back on The Bright Side. I am Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you have questions about anything we're speaking about here today or health challenges, especially skin health challenges, I've been doing skin for a long, long time. I consider the skin to be a microcosm of the whole body. And when you're sick in the skin, you're sick in the body. And when you're sick in the body, oftentimes it shows up on the skin. And when I say sick, I'm including dry skin or sensitive skin, things we don't think of as sick. You don't think of having dry, if your skin is dry, that you're sick. But you know what? You are. Let me say that again. If you have dry skin, you're sick. Now, don't freak out. I'm not attacking anybody. I'm just saying that dry skin's a health condition. Nobody should have dry skin. Nobody should have sensitive skin. Nobody should have rashy skin. Nobody should have acne. All of these are issues that need to involve the body, not the skin. When we put things on top of the skin to treat a skin issue, it demonstrates our lack of understanding about how the body is put together. We always say the skin is the body's largest organ. It's like a cliche. The skin is the body's largest organ. But we don't really digest the meaning of that cliche, that the skin is not only large, but it's an organ. It's an organ on the outside of your body. It's an organ. We got to get the idea of organs, what that really means. An organ is a system of, it's a bunch of cells that coalesce into a system that does things, that functions, that's dynamic. Look at your skin now. Does it look dynamic? No. Does it look like it's moving? No. Does it look like there's all kinds of biochemical reactions, trillions, countless biochemical reactions occurring? No. And that's why we think it's okay to rub stuff on the top of it. And that's why we think that if we have eczema or psoriasis or dry skin, that we can rub something on the top of it, make it better. And to make matters worse, we're induced to think that by an industry that could care. First of all, it doesn't understand, and then secondly, for the most part, and then secondly, could care less because they got bills to pay. And I'm a capitalist. I don't mind, I'm not railing against people making money, but to sell skincare products without addressing what's really happening in the skin is just not fair. It's mean-spirited, it's anti-humanity, and we shouldn't let it happen to us. That's where being an ingredient reader comes in. That's where understanding biochemistry comes in, and not being a biochemist PhD. Just understanding the rudiments, the basics. Right now, as our situation is, we don't understand how our bodies work. So when the coronavirus comes along, we listen to whatever the politicians or the political advisors or the health professionals tell us. That's the situation right now. But you know what could be? What could be is we understood the body. We understood a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. If we understood just that little bit about how our bodies work, imagine how liberated we would be. Imagine how free we would be from the fear of health challenges. It's scary if you don't understand the body. All kinds of things can happen to you if you don't understand the body. Just aging itself can be scary, and I can relate because I'm aging fast. Time goes by, folks. If you're in your 30s or 40s, now's the time. Don't wait till you're in your 50s or 60s or 70s. Start to learn how the bodies work, how the body's put together, the basics. Get a children's book on it. Just the basics of the skin. Just get a kid's book on the skin, on the levels of the skin, the strata meaning layers. The skin is stratified. It's layered. That alone is bizarre because you look at your skin and you say, what? It's not layered? What are you talking about? Yes, it is, with probably 100 layers, maybe more. The layers are thin, no doubt, but if you don't understand it's layered, you're going to think you could rub something on the surface and be done with it. No, you cannot rub something on the surface and be done with it. You've got to address the lower layers where the living tissue is because the top layers are dead. Yes, the very tippy top is like fingernail. You have a microscopically thin layer of fingernail on the surface of the skin. Talk about deceiving, looks being deceiving. Do you see a fingernail in your skin? Yet this microscopic layer of fingernail-like material on the surface of your skin holds us in place. It holds our tissues in place. It holds everything in place so we can have a body. Without this microscopically thin, hard, fingernail-like surface, we would just fall apart. It's holding us in place like plastic, like a sheet of very firm plastic. And this hard layer, it's called the stratum, meaning layer, corneum, meaning hard, the hard layer, stratum, corneum. You've heard that term, I'm sure. The stratum corneum hard layer has to be addressed if you're going to get down to the lower levels. That's the key. If you're rubbing your cream on the surface, it's pretty much staying on the stratum corneum. If you have dry skin and you put a moisturizer on, now you got soft, dry skin. Moisturizers, by the way, don't moisturize. Moisturizers can't moisturize because moisture is water. What a moisturizer does, and we know water doesn't moisturize, by the way. If you put your hand in a bucket of water, it's not going to be nice and soft and moisturized. An hour later, it's going to be burnt or irritated. A couple hours, 3 hours, it would definitely be burnt. Yeah, that's right. You get a water burn. So water isn't what moisturization is about, and we don't even know when we have dry skin. Check this out. We don't even know when we have dry skin. Nobody has ever felt dry skin. If you've ever said, oh, I have dry skin, I have a terrible problem with dry skin, you're collapsing two separate ideas, because we can't tell when our skin is dry. We can only tell when our skin is hard, desiccated. It's lacking moisture, but we can't tell it's lacking moisture. We can only tell it's desiccated, that it's dry, or that it's hard. I'm sorry, that it's hard. That's why this is where it becomes important. This is really important, because we don't know when we have dry skin. We don't know when we correct our dry skin, because we don't know we have dry skin. We only know when we soften our skin. What we call moisturizers are softeners. They're not at all moisturizers, except to the extent maybe they seal some moisture in, which is a really primitive and crazy biochemical strategy. You don't want to seal an organ up. So when we put a moisturizer on, we're just softening our skin, and this is what explains the absolute nonsense of the skincare business as it regards dry skin. You can't moisturize; it doesn't even make sense. But you can soften, and so what we think is moisturization is softening. Well, that's all well and good, but you need moisture, not softening. You soften with oil. You can put coconut oil in your skin, and many people do. That's not going to help your skin. It will soften it. It's not going to help your skin unless you get a little bit of vitamin E, maybe from the coconut oil. I hear this all the time from people. I just use coconut oil, or I just use Nivea or oil of Olay. I don't worry about it. Well, yeah, you can do that. You can put mayonnaise on your skin, and it's going to soften it. You can put anything that's fatty on your skin. You put butter on your skin, and it's going to soften it. Softening the skin is the booby prize. It may feel better to have softer skin, but what we need to be addressing is hydration, because good chemistry, good biochemistry depends on hydration. And you can't hydrate from the top down. But what you can do from the top down is you can turn on hydration mechanisms. You're not going to hydrate from the top down, but you can help the skin hydrate from the top down. And say that again, that's so important. You are not going to hydrate your skin from the top down, except to the extent that you're going to seal things up, and then you get some lack of evaporation. But that's not a very smart biochemical strategy. But what you can do is you can turn on the skin's ability to hydrate itself, because there's wonderful, incredible, mind-blowing, really, biochemical processes that help the skin stay hydrated. Some of that hydration comes in from the atmosphere, and that's another cool thing. The skin actually has magnets that pull in hydration from the atmosphere if there's humidity in the air, like you're in New York or Miami or someplace where there's a lot of moisture in the air. If you're in Colorado, that doesn't happen as well. But you have a second mechanism for keeping the skin hydrated, and that's from the blood, pulling up moisture from the blood through little channels that run throughout the skin. Bottom line is you can't address skin health issues topically, but topically you can help the skin address its own health issues. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll return on the bright side right after this. All right, we are back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. 844-236-6010. If you have questions about the longevity products or business or health challenges you or a loved one might be dealing with. If you're in the New York City area, I forgot to say this, I'm going to be doing a talk on skin and nutrition at this annual esthetician convention, whose name escapes me at this point. But that is going to be this Sunday, March the 8th. So I know some of our listeners are in the New York City area. If you are, I'd love to see you. And that'll be Sunday, March the 8th. We'll do skin and nutrition, and that's going to be at 1:45. Now, skin has been a love of mine for many, many years. Nutrition has been a love of mine for many, many years. And kind of combine the two, and that's basically what I do, is I combine the ideas, all the ideas I've learned in pharmacy from working for Blistex and from as being a pharmacist about addressing the health of the skin, and then applying my understanding of nutrition to that. And skin and nutrition are incredibly fascinating to me. I've learned a lot about it in 35 years, and really that is one of my specialties. I'll be talking about that this Sunday. And then if you're in the Denver area, you might want to, this one is going to be limited, but if you're in the Denver area on March the 16th, Monday, March the 16th, which is a week from this Monday, this is the year 2020, by the way, for you guys listening in the future. I'll be doing a talk in the Denver area. Call 303-437-2211 if you want more information about that. And that'll be on skin and nutrition as well. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll continue our discussion on electrons and quanta and the biology, the relationship between electrons and quantum, and how biology works and how health works, and especially focusing on the skin. We'll continue that on our next Bright Side episode. Read a couple stories, then we'll get your calls, 844-236-6010. Mediterranean diet for 1 year promotes gut bacteria that are linked to healthy aging. Well, a couple things are important about this. First of all, gut bacteria are important for healthy aging. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Mediterranean diet for 1 year promotes gut bacteria linked to healthy aging. It may curb advance of frailty and cognitive decline. That doesn't necessarily mean aging. That just means frailty and cognitive decline. So if you find that you're post-surgery, or if you have early onset dementia, or if you want to prevent frailty or early onset dementia, get yourself on the nightly essence. Start working on your probiotics. And the Mediterranean diet wouldn't hurt you either. This is from the journal Gut. Yes, there's a journal called Gut. The gut, by the way, when you hear it, we say that word a lot. That means intestine. The gut, and it basically means the small, it means the intestine, small and large intestine, mostly the small intestine when we talk about gut health. Eating a Mediterranean diet for a year boosts the type of gut bacteria linked to healthy aging while reducing those associated with harmful inflammation in older people, indicates a 5-country study published online in the journal Gut. As aging is associated with deteriorating bodily functions and increasing inflammation, both of which herald the onset of frailty, this diet may act on gut bacteria in such a way to help curb the advance of frailty. A couple things here. First of all, the Mediterranean diet is a veggie and fish diet, basically. Fresh produce, freshly caught fish. That's the way they do it in the Mediterranean. Now here we may not do that. Here we do Mediterranean diet power bars. Atkins Power Mediterranean Diet Power Bars. That's our version of the Mediterranean diet. But the real Mediterranean diet is fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, legumes, olive oil, and fish, and not a lot of meat. Here's the thing about the Mediterranean diet. Yes, all those things are important. Vegetables are important, fruits, nuts, legumes, etc. Or they're all important, but what's really important is the relationship between the oil and the veggies. That's the key right there. The veggies are important, but there's a relationship between the oil and veggies. And I know it's now, I'm not supposed to talk about oil and you got to eliminate oil. No, that's not true, in my opinion. I don't want to step on any toes out there. You got to be careful with your oil. But oil, and by the way, oil, like all nutritional, concentrated oils, like all nutritional supplements, is not the way the human body is designed to get its oil from an evolutionary standpoint. Processed oils have only been around for about 100 years. Industrially processed oils, vegetable oils. Of course, they've been around for a long time, but not in an industrial way. And they were expensive. They were hard to find, so not a lot of people had them. At the beginning of the 20th century, we figured out how to do this in an industrial way, and now everybody's doing oils, and then we start to fry them. It's the heated oils and it's the unstable oils that are the problem. Now, there's also, purists will tell you that just getting an oil processed, even if you do a cold press, you're going to generate free radicals, and that's true. And there is that thing. Yes, that's true. You're going to get what are called lipid peroxides, which are very powerful free radicals that are generated in oils. I know that. I'm not oblivious to that. So what I'm just saying is be careful with your oils. As far as how you eat them, oils pull the nutrients out of veggies. In the Mediterranean diet, they actually create special compounds that are super anti-inflammatory. The nitrates, the nitrogen in veggies reacts with oils, specifically olive oil, And olive oil is unfortunately a very corrupted oil. And you don't even know, by the way, when you buy olive oil, if it's really olive oil. There's fraudulent olive oil, just like there's fraudulent honey. Do you know there's a big food fraud problem? Olive oil is one of the worst. So you don't really know what you're getting, unfortunately, unless you go exotic. You go to, they have these, at least here in Colorado, in Denver, they have these olive oil shops, these olive shops where they sell olives and olive oil and olive bread. So you got to be careful. That's true. But there's a very important relationship that occurs between veggies and oils. Now, you can put butter on there, too, I suppose. But butter's not going to have that same kind of power. If you don't want to do oil, at least do butter. Now, I don't know how good that's going to be on a salad, but do butter on your cooked veggies. And use lots of salt. And if you're going to be using oils, make sure you're getting your vitamin E. And make sure you're getting your antioxidants. That's really the key. If you're going to be doing oils, vegetable oils, make sure they're fresh. Don't heat them. Keep them cold. And use your lipid or fatty antioxidants, which key of which is vitamin E. 400 IU a day. You'll actually even see vitamin E with any reputable supplemental oil will have vitamin E in it. Unless you're supposed to keep it in the fridge sometimes, I suppose. But most of them will have vitamin E in it. All right. Let us do one more story, and then we'll get your calls. 844-236-6010. We've got lines open. This one's really interesting. I've been talking about this for a long time. Calorie restriction prevents negative effects in aging in cells. If you want to reduce the levels of inflammation throughout your body, delay the onset of age-related diseases, and live longer, eat less food. I have been saying this for years. The less you eat, the longer you live. Calories are hard on the body. That's why nutrient density is so important, because nutrient density gives you nutrients without calories. That's what you're looking for in a diet, nutrient density. Nutrients without calories, and of course, a supplement, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, has a few calories, not much, but lots of nutrition. And that's why you'll find that you're eating less food when you start supplementing with the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. It's one of the best things that happens when you start supplementing with Beyond Tangy Tangerine, because you're getting the micronutrients, you don't need the calories as much. And people lose weight and they eat less food when just naturally, without fighting it, when they're on a nutritional supplement program in general and the Beyond Tangy Tangerine specifically. So eat less food. Protect your cell pathways, anti-age, calorie restriction. The only thing that's ever been shown officially and repeatedly to reduce and consistently to reduce aging is calorie restriction with adequate nutrition, the Cron diet, the Cran diet or Cron diet. Calorie restriction adequate or optimum nutrition. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Got lines open. We'll get your calls when we come back on the bright side. Okay, we are back on the bright side. I am Pharmacist Ben, 844-236-6010. Just reading about the Cucurbitaceae family of crops, of vegetables. Cucurbitaceae is some of the most powerful of all the veggies, and they include pumpkin and squash. That's what the cucurbit plants, they call them the cucurbit plants, C-U-R-C-U-R-B-I-T, plants. They're highly medicinal, and while pumpkins get the most publicity, and squash, as Cucurbitaceae, the cucumber is part of the same family, and cucumber doesn't have that kind of reputation, but it should, because it's got some amazing health value. Cucumber. It always shocks me when I hear somebody say they don't like cucumber. Every once in a while I hear somebody say, I don't like cucumber. I cannot imagine what's in cucumber, although, of course, everybody's taste buds are different. I can't imagine how you couldn't. It's so benign, and man, is that stuff healthy for you, cucumber. Great source of electrolytes and electrical energy, and structured water. Crystalline, powerfully electroconductive water. Cucumbers are very electroconductive, and they're also cucurbit plants like pumpkin and squash, and they have wonderful, salubrious, health-inducing benefits. Cucumbers and salt. And cucumber juice, if you're trying to fast or go calorie restriction, cucumber juice is incredibly satisfying with salt. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's go to Georgia and say good morning to Don. What's up, Don? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Don, Ben, how you doing? I'm calling you, Don.
You, Don, me, Ben. What's going on, Don?
This is more of a testimony first and foremost.
Yeah.
And a thank you.
Yeah.
I've been listening to you from almost the beginning of your show. One time I called. I'm in the midst of healing the skin crisis.
Yeah.
And you had said to me, Don, you know what to do. You listen to the show. And that really, really resonated. And I got off the phone and said, Ben's right. I do know what to do. And, put a protocol together. And I'm about, right now, 60% of the way back to skin health. And
that is awesome. Congratulations. And I love how I said that, because you do know. You're a smart guy. You're one of the smartest guys I talk to on this show. So sometimes we got to just do things ourselves and handle it. And you're fully capable of taking care of your body yourself, fully, more than most people. Everybody is, but you're more than most. So thank you for that. Is there anything I could do to help you?
No, I just wanted to get that out there, because since listening to your show, I've healed myself from...
What was your condition? What was the condition?
The first condition was hyperthyroidism. They told me I needed to remove my thyroid. Listening to your show, I was able to overcome that. Then they said this was dermatitis on the skin. But I realized it was a combination of several things, one being a very impacted colon, I believe.
Wow.
And dealing with cleansing the colon, meditation, breathing, stress reduction.
How's the skin? How's the skin now?
The skin is responding very rapidly, actually.
Are you doing EFAs? Are you on EFAs? Get on them. If you're not, get on them. They're vital for any kind of skin, dermatitis, eczema, psoriasis, any skin issue. Essential fatty acids are, I don't want to say the most important, but if I had to say the most important, that's what I tell you is the most important. That's I did my moment of truth today on sensitive skin. We talked about essential fatty acids. I don't like saying what's most important, but if I had to say what's most important, I would tell you essential fatty acids.
Okay, I haven't been supplementing with them, but I have been upping my avocado intake, my coconut.
That's just my. It's not going to get you what you need. Get yourself on the Ultimate Nightly Essence or Udo's Blend. Udo's Blend is in the refrigerator. I'm sorry, not the Ultimate EFA. The Udo's Blend is kept in the refrigerator. Ultimate EFA you can travel with, take them to work, use them throughout the day. Either way, get on them. Don't rely on getting it from food. You got a medical condition, I would be going therapeutic. I would be doing therapeutic doses.
Okay.
All right, my friend. Good to talk to you. Take care, Don. Thank you. That's one of our smart listeners, our super smart listeners. I love talking to our super smart listeners. Let's go to Minnesota and say good morning to Dave. What's up, Dave?
Hi, Ben. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. What's going on, my friend?
I'm a first-time caller. I've been listening to you through your podcast for probably 7 years.
Oh, you're kidding. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, I'm finally caught up, so I'm listening to you live today.
Okay.
I have a granddaughter that had blood work done yesterday, and she's low in 4 of her 5 white blood cell counts.
How old is she? How old's your granddaughter? I'm having a little hard time hearing you there. I don't know if that's on our end or yours.
I'm on a Bluetooth, and I'm afraid to get off of it because I might lose it. But,
no, so go ahead. You have a granddaughter who's got low white blood cells, did I hear you say?
Yeah, it's like neutrophils, eosinophils, and...
Yeah. Well, how old is your granddaughter?
She's 7 years old.
Okay, so sometimes these things are present at birth, and white blood cells are made in the bone marrow. So sometimes there's poor bone marrow. Did they tell you all this, the poor bone marrow function?
No, but I've been following you. I've been studying, and I follow up on a lot of what you say. So I'm one of the hardcore, high-tech guys.
Okay, good. That's awesome. So here's the deal: whenever you have a health challenge like low white blood cells, unless there's cancer or something, the chances are what you're dealing with mostly is a general sign of poor health. Now, this is what happens for older folks who have low white blood cells. There's a really horrible noise there, my friend. I want to talk to you, but I can't do it like this. But I definitely want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Dave, I'm going to have to let you go. There's just too much noise. But can you listen in? Can you hear it? Or do you have your radio on?
Yeah, I'll listen.
You have your radio on?
No, I I'm in a construction zone.
I see. Okay, listen in, because it's
podcast.
way too noisy.
Yeah.
Listen in, buddy. Okay, thanks, Dave. I appreciate it. When you have low white blood cells, for the most part, if you're an adult, you're dealing with a health problem. You don't want to you don't want to focus on just the low white blood cells. They're a sign of hypothyroidism, of digestive health issues, of chronic adrenal issues. They could be leukemia. I mean, there's a sign of the body gone awry. It's a sign of the body not getting what it needs. It's a sign of general poor health. Now, it's the same thing with a kid, but sometimes the kid, it could be like a little kid, it could be congenital. Now, this kid was 7 years old. I don't know if that would be the problem. I don't know. It seems to me like it would show up earlier. Nonetheless, what you want to do is you want to focus on the kid's body. Look for other symptoms. This is a perfect example of how to take care of conditions. Look for other symptoms. Focus systemically, not on the place where you see the problem. Digestion is always the first thing. Blood sugar issues another thing. It would be rare for a kid to be hypothyroid. It would be rare for a kid to have some kind of chronic long-term problem. So the kid's only 7 years old. So with the kid's a little bit different, but you got to find other things going on, unless it's cancer or it's some kind of congenital issue with the bone marrow. In which case, you still have to focus on other health challenges, or on the body as a whole. You're not going to target just the white blood cells. You target the body as a whole. Hope that's easy to understand. You target the body as a whole, not the individual place you see the problem. All right, David in California. Good morning, my friend. What's going on?
Oh, how are you, doctor?
I'm good. I'm a pharmacist, though, but that's good.
Isn't it you still got to go through a certain amount of medicine?
I do. I had to study a lot of medicine, and literally medicine, drugs, medicine in the body. And we study a lot of stuff that doctors don't study. And we're fully fledged healthcare professionals. It is true, but I have to be, when people say, a lot of times people call me doctor, and I have to just say that.
Oh,
what's going on?
Well, you probably know then that, good clean drinking water is probably one of the things that's going to keep you healthiest.
Absolutely.
And so thinking about the trap that we're in right now with the coronavirus, we can make a win-win out of this thing by making every drinking fountain in America working again. By getting the government to actually pay for getting good, clean drinking water coming out of every park, every
Let me ask you something,
building.
Dave. Let me ask him, Dave. Do you consider chlorine and fluoride to be part of good drinking water?
Oh, and not the fluoride. Absolutely. It's a pain in the neck that we are still trapped in that. Isn't that like a residual from some mining waste?
It's nasty. It's one of the hidden problems with fluoride is it messes up your digestive system. And so a lot of times people have digestive problems. They won't even realize that it's the fluoride in the water. If you have digestive problems, you can't figure it out.
But what I'm leading up to, though, is that the Homeland Security could be out there snooping on us and whether or not we take a wrong breath, when in fact maybe Homeland Security should be paying to fix all the drinking fountains in America.
No argument.
Get a win-win out of this.
There's a lot of things that they could be doing. That's assuming they want to be doing it. That's a whole other story.
Well, that's the whole point. Let's make them do it before election day.
Well, yeah, people have a say. Absolutely. That government can't. The power structure depends on people abdicating their authority. Got to go, buddy. Thank you, Dave. That's a very interesting subject. Don't have time for it, though. That's all we got time for today on The Bright Side. Thanks for listening. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Have a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.